Hello, boyos.
Hello, boyos.
This is the Lonercast, where we discuss all things video games and what's happening in the week of video games, this week in video games. My name is Nick. That is Jake. This week, we are going to be talking about updates on Bethesda, and we haven't heard anything since, that Microsoft bought them, so we got some updates. New Mass Effect remaster is finally confirmed. We all heard the rumors that it was a thing, and it's finally a thing. And then we're also going to be talking about Sega and how financially in trouble they're in. How much financially in trouble they're in?
Dude, your intro is fantastic.
Good. Absolutely. Last week's question. We're going to have... what the fuck am I saying? Last week's question was, are we going to have any more surprise delays in the near future? Nobody commented.
Yeah.
They could have commented today, but I checked it yesterday and it was like 11 p.m. and nobody commented. So I have the answer, and the answer is yes. Another game got delayed, and that game is The Medium. It's supposed to come out in December this year. They have pushed it back to the end of January in 2021. So there you go. Not another Xbox game that won't be out in time for the holiday season. What do you think about that? You have anything? Any comments or anything? You just keep hiding behind your mic?
No, I'm not trying to hide behind my mic. I'm sorry about that. Well, we do have one comment. This comes from Cooking for Group. Well, I don't think Cyberpunk is going to be delayed again. I think Microsoft will continue to push back Halo until it's a product they are happy with. I think people remember games. Forget about games. What? Being delayed after they come out. But if a game is just launches and it's broken garbage, people will remember it forever. Oh, okay. Just look at Assassin's Creed Unity. Okay, yeah. So what he's saying, if a game is delayed but it comes out and it's great, no one remembers the delays. But if a game comes out and it's a broken mess like Unity, yeah, I agree with that. And did they put a new date on Halo?
Why are you asking me questions? It's something I don't know.
Okay.
I don't remember.
Yeah, fair enough. It just seems like Halo is going to be a total mess. It just seems like 343 is not a well taken care of studio, which is unfortunate. The Medium being delayed makes a lot of sense to me. Just an extra month. That just seems like a very intense game to try and get done. And I think they were trying to hit near the launch, but the fact that it's not coming out on the launch to begin with, I think gives them a little bit more leeway to do what they're doing, which is just to come out in January. As far as Cyberpunk goes, I don't think it's out of the question for them to delay that shit again, honestly.
Yeah.
I and you know what, if they need to do it, that's fine, but I can't help but feel, and I can't help but feel like something is going horribly wrong with Cyberpunk. I think they may have been a bit more. They may have bitten off more than they can chew with this game, almost.
Yeah, for sure.
And I don't know if it's just they're saying it's last gen consoles that are keeping it back, but that can't be the only. There's got to be some sort of game breaking bug in it or something that. And when the game comes out, is there going to be a fucking 100 gig patch? Probably. And we didn't talk about this last week. We talked about the delay, but it kind of takes away from the meaning gone gold, doesn't it?
Yeah.
The fact that Cyberpunk went gold and still got delayed, it just kind of means what is that?
That means zero. That means nothing anymore. The gone gold is not a term that we should be even using at this point, because you can delay it after it's gone gold.
I can't think of another game that's done that, though, which
I don't think another game has ever done that.
I can think of that one basketball game. You remember that one basketball game that was supposed to come out, and they completely canned the game, that EA basketball game that they were making back in like 2011, I think. Yeah,
I don't remember that.
Well, and now that game goes for like thousands of dollars because like it's super rare to find it, because the only thing that got released physically were the press copies. So like if you have one of those, it's worth a lot of money.
That's crazy.
But yeah, I don't know, man. Delays are gonna continue to happen forever, and I think as games get bigger, more delays will happen. I wish companies would just stop putting dates so early.
Yep. I wish companies would stop putting dates until it is in store shelves. Like give me a month, or give me like a quarter. It'll release in the fourth quarter of this year, or something like that. And then once it's in store shelves, like 2 weeks before it releases, then go, okay, it's here.
Or have the game go gold, and then like that's when you announce it, and then you release it like 2 months later after it's gone gold.
I think that has a lot of like because you want to generate hype from marketing and stuff like that.
You could still do that stuff,
right? But it once it goes gold, you only have a month, 2 months max to generate the hype. And
no, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying exactly what you're saying. Like, we're aiming for this area of time, and you're still hyping the game like it's still coming out in 2021 or whatever. But then once it goes gold, they're like, okay, now we will set it 2 months later, and it's like, here's the date.
Yeah.
I'm not saying what they should be like Fallout 4, where they're like, our game comes out in 6 months and that's it. Like, you could still hype it for years, like they fucking do.
True.
Just don't put a date on it.
I think that would be great. And Halo Infinite doesn't have an exact date. It is just 2021. So,
okay.
Yeah, that's good for them, because that means it could come out, next year.
Next holiday is probably a good call. Yeah.
Yeah. So, it might hurt sales of the Xbox, which comes out today. Well, not for us, but in the future us, it comes out today. If you're listening right now, it is already out.
But I don't think they're too worried about that.
What was I gonna say? Yeah, the games like should just be, they're so large and people expect so much from them that they should have a time frame. Like, it will be out within these 3 months, and then once you get closer to it, then it's like, it'll be out within this month. And then once you get closer to it, then it'll be like, okay, it's gonna be this day, and then that's what it is. Or this weekend, one of these days, it'll be out there. That way people, and the thing is, you have to do it like 2 weeks before it is actually releasing. You have to announce it 2 weeks before it's releasing. That way people can take time off of work. I know a lot of people do that. A lot of people did that with Cyberpunk, and that was a huge thing.
And also, like, games are a big investment for a lot of people. $70 is not cheap. So some people need to budget that, and that's why they try to give you so much time, I believe.
Right.
So then you can like plan, like, okay, I need to save up $70 by this time, especially for like high schoolers or, college kids, which, I'm sure that is a market that they're trying to hit pretty heavy as video game makers.
That's probably the heaviest market at this point.
I don't know about that. I actually think like 25 to 35 is probably their biggest market. But, they want to keep that market growing. So you want to get the high schoolers. You want to get the college kids. So, yeah, I mean, you've got to plan for those people, too. And that's why I said like 2 months. It's probably plenty of time. 3 months, whatever. But
yeah, I agree.
Just put me in charge. Every company, just call me. I'll be your CEO.
EA, put them in charge. Put Jake in the hot seat.
Yeah.
Do it. Do it.
Your boss.
What you been playing, Jake?
I have been playing For the King. which is this fun little.
Oh no shit! I've
yeah,
been playing For the King.
Yeah.
Oh wait, it was me. We both did it at the same time together.
Yeah, we played like 6 hours of For the King on stream last night, which was a lot of fun. It's this fun little like RPG roguelike. It's
sort of roguelike. It has roguelike elements. I wouldn't call it a roguelike because you could spend 5 hours in a playthrough.
Just the runs are long, but it's still a roguelike.
I guess so. Roguelite. That's what it is.
Sure.
But yeah, it's fun. It's fun. It's like a very low poly game.
Mm-hmm.
And it's cute art style, really good sound effects, really interesting characters. The story is kind of so far, but we've only gotten to the second story mission.
Yeah.
Easy is a little too easy. Normal is a little hard, but it's good that way. It's up to 3 players, and there's a lot of customization kind of options. The loot system is really cool.
You spend a lot more time playing it than you realize, too. When we hit 6 hours, I was like, what the fuck happened?
Oh, is it nighttime already?
Shit. You're like, is it? No, it's not.
Yeah. Like, hold on. No.
It's the middle of the day, Nick. You're fine.
We've been recording for hours. Anything else other than that? Any words?
Not really. I've just kind of been waiting, just
I feel that, dude. I wake up every morning going, what am I gonna do today? I've just gotta wait. I just have to wait another 2 days, and be really disappointed when I don't get a PlayStation 5.
I know, dude. I feel that because neither of us got fucking pre-orders.
No. Nobody that I know has a pre-order except for one of our friends in New Mexico, Patrick. He's got a pre-order. That's the only son of a bitch I know that out of like the 20 friends that we have that are all excited for this game, this console, and the games to come with it. Only one of us was able to get a pre-order. So I wasn't scared at first, but now I'm a little scared. I'm getting kind of nervous.
Yeah. I feel that.
Yeah. So I've been playing For the King as well, as we mentioned. It's fun. And then I've been just jamming COD because there's nothing else to do. I didn't think I'd finish this season pass, but it looks like I'm going to. Well, maybe not, because if I get a PlayStation, I'm just going to drop that game like a hot fucking bag of rocks. 100%.
But you could transfer it over, right?
I could, but then I'm going to be playing Astro's Playroom. I'm going to be playing Spider-Man. I'm going to be playing Bugsnax. Those all come before.
Talking about butt sex.
Yeah, those all come before COD. COD's like my last thing. It's just like, I've got nothing else to do. I might as well burn an hour or two just mindlessly shooting little kids and having them yell at me because I'm cheating or some shit. Yeah, that's about it though. Yep. But there was an event. We'll get into the events right now, if that's cool. That's
very cool.
Very cool. All right.
I did watch a little bit. I watched a little bit of this one. I did.
I watched this today, just so it was in my mind. Demon Souls had a state of play, a PlayStation state of play for Demon Souls. Came out a few days ago, 2 or 3 days ago. They showed off quite a bit. A lot of gameplay. A lot of just straight up gameplay. Kind of gameplay I've been asking for Destruction All-Stars. But I do have to say this game looks fantastic. It looks so pretty. It looks so good. I won't play it, but it looks really fucking good.
Yeah, I feel the same. Sorry, go ahead.
Really? Even though you like Bloodborne so much?
I like Bloodborne a lot, but I will say it like took me 2 years to beat Bloodborne because that game just infuriates me so much. I like it, but it's not worth the mental toll it takes on my body.
Yeah, that's. I guess that's kind of how I feel about like Sekiro and shit. Like,
yeah,
you kill a couple of bosses, and then it's like, what time is it? Oh my god, that was only one boss. That was 4 hours of my day.
I definitely can't justify spending like $60-$70 on this game.
Yeah.
If it ever goes on sale, I might pick it up. But it does. It looks
That's
great.
yeah.
It looks
It
great,
does.
and like it looks like more Souls.
Mm-hmm.
But
They
it's hard to care that much though because it's like a 10-year-old game that just kind of they upresed and they added
Yeah, well, they added frames.
Yeah,
The way it seems like they were talking about this. I'm gonna jump all over the state of play right now, but they were
yeah,
talking about like how they added a whole bunch of frames and a whole bunch of new frames to animations, but all the animations are exactly the same. So like
yeah.
fighting feels exactly the same. The blocking and dodging, it all feels the same. It just looks smoother. It looks so
Mhm.
much smoother. And I
Yeah,
thought that was an interesting choice because, like you said, this is a 10-year-old game. How I didn't play the first one. I can't imagine the controls hold up extremely well. I mean, they might now that it's in 60 frames um, with a 4K resolution. So that's kind of cool. They kind of mentioned that as well. But yeah, let's go back to the start of the state of play. They showed off character creation. This is my favorite part of the whole fucking game. Is the character creator. How fucked up you can make your guy look.
yeah,
Um,
and that's always been a thing, you know.
yeah, yeah. But what really upset me about the state of play, they didn't make a fucked up looking character. They didn't like make him purple. It was like you can be this normal guy with like uh, a beret or not a beret, what are they cornrows that are tied in the back, and it's like that's not who I'm gonna be playing as. I'm gonna be playing as like the skinny old lady who's just like, hey, who's got like a fucked up face, you know. But
Yeah,
yeah, it looks really good though. It looks like you have a whole lot of options, and they said thousands upon thousands of different variations that you can do, which is nothing new. Then they had a whole long section of guided gameplay where they would just seem like it was the first level, and they were just kind of walking through the first level. They showed off a little bit of boss fights. The first boss was a boss fight against Flame Lurker. Never played the game, don't know what it is. Looked
yeah,
kind of cool. The
yeah.
fire effects look pretty great. And then after that, they kind of went into like different environments. They showed off like a very narrow cathedral type environment. They showed off like a swampy uh, waste like environment, and then they showed off a boss based off in that environment where he's like a conglomerate of waste and trash and shit, and then the guy dies, and it's like you died, and it's like I'm glad they showed that off, and then the thing ended.
You
I
know,
thought it
you
was
know,
pretty good.
you know what this whole thing reminds me of? Like the excitement for Demon Souls. It reminds me of the excitement for Shadow of the Colossus before that came out, and how hyped everyone was for the updated Shadow of the Colossus, which is funny because the same people who made the Shadow of the Colossus remake are making this game.
Are
Blue
they?
Point, yeah, Blue Point Games, which just makes me think, dude, Sony, just fucking buy Blue Point, dude.
By Blue Point?
You need to
Yeah.
just buy these guys because these guys can just port everything and just make all your games look better. In fact, it may sound sacrilegious to have someone else make a Demon Souls games besides, who made Demon Souls? It's
From Soft.
FromSoft, yeah. So like, it might sound sacrilegious to have someone else make Demon Souls, but or Demons Souls. But you know what? If you bought Blue Point Games and just said, "Hey, you know what? Fuck it. You guys make Demon Souls now." You know? Just fuck it, dude. Put them on it.
Yeah. But
That's my takeaway.
what else has Blue Point made though? Like I feel like Blue Point only makes
They do a lot of ports.
remakes.
Yeah.
So if they don't have the experience for making an entire game by itself, I can't imagine that you kind of want them to remake a whole new game, you know?
I don't know, but like they've gotten so much experience doing what they're doing.
Yeah, they've done the Uncharted collection. They've done Shadow of the Colossus. They did Gravity Rush remastered. Titanfall's in here. Flower, I guess they did.
Port.
They fucking did Sony PlayStation All Stars.
Oh,
That's pretty funny.
They did it for the Vita.
Is that what it,
They did the
I
Vita
bet.
port. Yeah.
Yeah. So they have a couple of things, but it's
they
all
made the Metal Gear Solid HD collection. It is all
it's all ports. So it's I don't know if that's the kind of person you want to work on a franchise
why
as
not though?
beloved as because
like,
they're good at remaking. You know, they're good at taking what's already there and adding frames or adding textures or they're not. I wouldn't.
I don't know. Shadow of the Colossus was built from the ground up. You know.
I don't know. I don't know how it works.
So,
they have
I'm plenty of experience. I'm just throwing it out there, but also buy them regardless because they would be just a great studio to have to just kind of be your port machine. Just
it's
like
true.
We make ports of everything. In a few years, it's like we need a God of War remaster. They can do it.
Oh, God of War, like the originals?
No, like the last one.
Oh yeah, because we're gonna need a remaster of that one pretty soon.
Yeah, I mean, for real though, like in like 5 years we are, and they could be the guys to do it. Like because it's an ongoing cycle where like eventually games look old. It's inevitable.
That's
eventually
true.
Games look old, and Blue Point can just be like, oh, we just made it look better. That's our job. We made it look better. Yeah. We spent 5 years making this game look better.
Yeah, we weren't working on anything else. So it's just this, just because
I've been thoroughly
will buy it.
I've been thoroughly impressed with everything they've done because like that Uncharted collection was great because they don't just like port the game like hey, let's just take it and we'll put it over, we'll like kind of upres. They fix like problems with it too. Like I remember playing the Uncharted collection and remember playing like the first Uncharted on the PS3. Like this game is garbage. It's trash. It's not even fun. You got to use the fucking X-axis to throw a grenade and shit. They take that shit and they're like, nope, we're not doing that. We're going to fix it. Like they fix games. Same with Shadow of the Colossus. If you go back to Shadow of the Colossus now, it doesn't hold up the way you think it does. But if you play the port, it's everything you think the game is when it's actually not.
Yeah. So it would be cool. It would be really cool to have a studio like that where you can port like God of War 2, God of War 1, God of War 3, all in one. The God of War collection. Why not? That
it
kind
exists
of stuff.
already, but yeah.
Does it? Yeah. Do it again because it's probably out of date.
There you go. Yeah.
Or Twisted Metal. That's a Sony brand.
Speaking of Twisted Metal, what's up with them calling this fucking game Destruction All Stars when they could have just called it Twisted Metal All Stars or whatever?
Because it's different. Because you're not stuck. You're not stuck in a car. You can get out of the car. You're not Axel, who's just a fucking man with wheels on his arms. You can get out of your car and you run around, and it's like it's like a Rocket League type.
Seems like a missed opportunity to call your game Twisted Metal.
I guess, but it's not the same sort of style. It's not dark or
it doesn't need to be
edgy.
That's like the new God of War is not the same sort of aesthetic as the original.
Twisted Metal All Stars.
Also, why would you call it All Stars? There's already a PlayStation All Stars.
Yeah. Now this is Destruction All Stars.
I know, dude. I'm flabbergasted.
It's a weird name. Let's move on to the news, shall we? The news. First topic, we got news about Bethesda, specifically Starfield. This comes from Twisted Voxel. Speaking of twisted things, this Voxel is twisted. This comes from Ali Hader. Todd Howard recently gave an interview during Develop Brighton, which I didn't know what this was. Develop Brighton is a game development expo in Brighton, UK. So it's just like people in the industry talking about how they make their games.
That's
kind of cool. We should try to get like a press pass or something for it when this whole COVID shit is over and done.
Yeah, right.
Anyway, during this Develop Brighton, he shared some new details on Starfield and other ongoing projects. Starfield is primarily a single player with no multiplayer aspects. Todd Howard confirmed that both the Elder Scrolls 6 and Starfield will use. Oh, these are bullet points. It's going to be just bullets of like. Todd Howard confirmed that both Elder Scrolls 6 and Starfield will use procedural generation to create a massive landmass. The developers will reportedly use this through an engine tool to create larger worlds than seen in previous games. That's kind of odd to me. We'll get back to it.
Yeah.
There's a huge major overhaul done to the creation engine. It is a larger generation leap than from Morrowind to Oblivion.
Good.
Rendering, animation, and artificial intelligence, pathing, procedural generation, and more aspects of the game engine will be overhauled. Starfield will take a while before it's shown to the public. Todd doesn't feel comfortable talking about it yet. It means it's shit. And NPCs will play a larger role in future games developed by Bethesda Softworks, including Starfield and Elder Scrolls 6. Starfield and Elder Scrolls 6 will be available at launch on Xbox Game Pass. So,
yeah, of course.
You want to run through any of those bullet points?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
First of all, it's funny as fuck. Todd doesn't feel comfortable talking about it yet. It's just so funny. Yeah, I mean,
the way I see that is somebody in the audience was like he's giving a speech on stage or whatever, and somebody in the audience is like, "Oh, excuse me, when will we get Starfield?" And he's like, not for a while, and don't ask me any more questions.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not comfortable answering any of those questions. Like,
I just imagine like someone's like, hey Todd, Starfield, what's up with that? I don't want to talk about it. Not me. I'm not talking about it.
There's someone else.
There's a lot of good in here, though. I mean, like the fact that they're finally updating the engine, fucking finally. With all, rendering, animation, artificial intelligence. That's all great stuff. The weird thing to me is this procedurally generated massive land masses. That's super fucking weird to me because what was special about Fallout and Skyrim and all these games that they've made is that these are well-crafted, developed worlds. That the saving grace of Fallout 4 for being a glitchy, almost unplayable mess of a game that's like very like not fun. The saving grace of that game is the world, and like the world is actually pretty interesting to explore. And I can't imagine a procedurally generated world being as interesting as like a fully fleshed out map, even if it is smaller, because bigger doesn't always mean better.
No, not at all. But I do have to say that
works for Fallout 76, but
a procedurally generated game, a world, is better for a space game like Starfield, not so much the Elder Scrolls 6 game. Because if you have like a space game and it's an exploration game, sort of like Elder Scrolls is, where you kind of go around and you're like, you start on a system and it's like, hey, go out, and then you kind of like.
I could see that, yeah.
It would be a little bit better to have that kind of variation in, what a planet has, what it doesn't have. Whereas like an Elder Scrolls game, I feel like you're correct, where it's like the world is so particular and unique that it should be that way, and it should be built that way.
It's just like, to me, these guys, Bethesda, are known for world building. And even a space game, I'd like to see a space game where they have developed a very coherent world. Like, you can travel between planets and shit, but you land and it's like a well-developed world. I mean, like, not to use like Borderlands as an example, but like, you could still have well-crafted worlds. I don't know. It's just,
yeah, I get what you're saying, and
it seems like a fucking cop out. I don't know.
Yeah,
it works. It would work great for a game like Fallout 76, where it's this big online game and like every time you jump in, it's like a different looking map. I don't know. That might work cool, I guess. But even then, it's like that should be more of an MMO where it's all planned out. Like this is your guys' specialty is world building,
Right.
but I guess they're going in a different direction. So
They might. I don't know. It might be because it says they're making it. Developers will reportedly use this procedural generation to create massive land masses, and that's just so weird. So they're not. It's not necessarily like a tell of Elder Scrolls 6 and Starfield are going to have procedurally generated maps. It's this engine can support procedurally generated maps now. That's kind of what I'm getting from it.
yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It doesn't necessarily mean that
It's very vague.
It's going to be. Yeah. So these games don't exist yet.
Well,
like
here's what's interesting.
They do not exist.
Here's what's interesting to me is he says he's not ready to talk about Starfield yet.
Mm-hmm. Right.
So what does that mean for Elder Scrolls 6? Is that a little bit closer? I thought Starfield was coming before Elder Scrolls 6.
I thought so as well.
Maybe things have changed in the pipeline. Maybe they're like, we need to focus. Maybe, especially now that they're talking with Microsoft, they're like, we need to focus fire Elder Scrolls right now. Which is perfectly understandable because, I mean, after, blunder after blunder with them, I think just to get out a good Elder Scrolls game, I think people would be happy. People are pretty sick of Skyrim. I think they're ready for Skyrim 2.
Skyrim 2, Electric Boogaloo.
Yeah. But it is nice, I will say, it is nice that they are working with Xbox and have all the funds in the world to do whatever the fuck they want. And I think they will. I think they will take advantage of that. So
yeah, but will it be rushed? That's the question. Will it be rushed? Will it be done when it comes out? Or will it be like a glitchy mess like all the Fallouts and all those Skyrims are? Because some people love that shit.
It's been 6 years since Fallout 4.
Dude, they don't have shit. They do not have shit.
I don't know. I think they may have. The fact that they're like, we have a new fucking engine is pretty surprising to me. I didn't know anything about that.
That's probably all that they have, though. Like, that's what they've been working on. Because they didn't show anything last year. They didn't show anything the year before. They haven't said anything. They're just going, these are two things that we have. And they are coming out eventually.
Yeah.
So I don't see these games coming out anytime soon. And I don't actually believe that they're games. I think they're just ideas with an engine that can support the ideas at this moment.
I don't know. I feel like you know what I suspect next year at E3 or whatever Xbox does next year. Their big E3 type conference. There will be one. It may not be at E3, but it'll be something. Their next conference, what if they, like, right in the middle of their conference, they have the little Bethesda carnival right in the middle of their conference, and, like, Bethesda breaks in, and then they show off, like, a bunch of Bethesda things. I kind of suspect that to happen at the Xbox conference next year. So yeah. I feel like if they do have something to say about Elder Scrolls 6, they're hanging on to it. I don't think Starfield is anywhere near done, like you said. But I wouldn't be surprised if Elder Scrolls 6... Not that it's going to come out next year, but 2022 doesn't seem completely out of the question.
Yeah, I could see end of 2022.
Yeah.
I could see them announce it for the summer of 2022, and then it gets pushed back and delayed.
I'm just thinking, like, it has been 6 years since Fallout 4, and yeah, maybe they've been spending all this time making this engine, and that's why they released Fallout 76 just as like a last-ditch effort to make some money, because they spent way too much time on this engine. But
yeah, it could be. Yeah, they could have overextended their reach on the engine and went, "Whoa, we spent all of our funds making this thing, and we have no more funds. So just put out an empty game and see what happens." Yeah.
Who knows? I don't know.
Yeah, that's crazy to think about.
Well, I think we'll find out a lot more next year. I think they're hanging on.
Yeah,
Well, and also,
it's
and it's also important to make this distinction as well, that Xbox hasn't officially finished their like transaction for Bethesda. So I think it's important to keep that in mind too. That we probably won't know everything until that transfer of power is done.
That's a good point. Yeah, absolutely.
There's probably a lot more for them to say, but
I don't think that they can back out of that though. Like I think Xbox
no.
I think Microsoft is just like, yeah, we have this. I don't think they can release a game and go, we have money again. I just don't think that's going to happen. We don't need you, Microsoft. But it's all speculation.
But like, no, it's inevitable that they're going to buy them. It's like the Fox Disney deal, if you remember that, when that happened.
Yeah, I remember that.
There was that like long interstitial period where Disney's like, yeah, we're buying them. We just haven't done it yet. Like it's gonna happen. You just got to give it a little bit of time. So
it's like a snake eating an egg.
Yeah, and there's like a whole legal process they have to go through.
Yeah, and transfer of all the assets and whatnot. Yeah, all the legal bullshit. Speaking of speculations, one speculation has come to fruition. Mass Effect Legendary Edition, if I could speak, officially announced on N7 Day. For those who didn't know, like I didn't know, N7 stands for November 7th.
Well,
I didn't like put the two. I'm like, why is N7 Day on this date? And then I'm like, shit, I'm an idiot. So the Legendary Edition of Mass Effect is coming spring 2021. Expect a delay because everything's being delayed. This comes straight from Twitter at Mass Effect.
Expect a delay from a game that's not even announced.
No, it's announced.
Oh,
it's announced.
They did announce.
It's officially announced. Yeah.
Oh, I missed this. I missed this piece of news then.
Really? You sure? Did you? Like 2 days ago, 3 days ago.
I completely missed that.
3 days ago on November 7th.
Yeah.
They're like, this is happening, and this is what it includes. It includes Mass Effect 1, Mass Effect 2, Mass Effect 3, with all the DLCs and promo materials completely remastered and textures overhauled. There will be no multiplayer from Mass Effect 3. And
Bummer.
It'll be coming to...
That was a fun multiplayer.
I know, and I'm like, that kind of kills it for me, honestly, because...
That's a lot of game, though, dude. That is a lot of game. And a Mass Effect 1 overhaul would be great. I played Mass Effect 1. I never beat it, but like,
if it's done right,
it's dated.
It's very dated. If it's done right and it's done the way that like Blue Point would do it, it would be good. But if it's like the same shit with less slapped new coat of paint on it, I don't think it would be anything else.
Is BioWare doing it?
I'm not sure. It's coming to PS4, Xbox One, PC, and next-gen consoles. I will look that up.
Yeah. I think it's while you're doing that, I'll just ramble a bit.
Yeah.
I think that it's a great idea. I'm surprised it didn't happen on the PS4 earlier. I'm surprised we didn't get this collection sooner. I'm surprised we didn't get this collection before Andromeda came out.
Yeah. Honestly. And the speculations have gone back since Andromeda. They're like, oh, Andromeda was a piece of crap, and the next thing is going to be Mass Effect remastered.
They have to like rebuild their trust.
Yeah, so
in the franchise,
it's been a few years, and yes, it is BioWare who is remastering it.
Good for them. That's a good call for them, because BioWare. I'm worried about them. Like I'm worried they won't exist soon. So this is going to be a slam dunk for them, which is what they need.
Yeah. It just kind of sucks that they released what was that game called? Anthem,
and then before that it was Mass Effect Andromeda. Like these guys have been not doing so well. Well, and then you think about before that they had Dragon Age, which people liked, but before that. It was Mass Effect 3, which also kind of got a lot of shit. When ultimately it was just the ending. Like, let's be honest. Like, Mass Effect 3 was a good game from
Yeah.
You know,
It
I never played it, so it's hard for me to say. But like, as far as I'm aware, it was just the ending that everyone hated. So
yeah, it was good. I didn't get to the ending, but I played quite a bit of it, and yeah, it was decent.
I played the online a bit, and it was very fun.
Oh, that's the best part of it, dude. That was the best part of it.
I bought Mass Effect 3, didn't play the story, only played the online. That's where I was at as a gamer when that came out.
Hey, man, I respect it, because that online was really fun. Going back to it, ooh, I don't know.
A bit rough, yeah, sure.
It's a bit sluggish, but yeah, it's kind of cool. Hopefully they do it right and they're not being pushed by EA, too hard.
Yeah.
Because that's kind of how they ruined everything else. But good luck to them, and I hope everything goes well. The next thing is Insomniac confirms Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart is a PS5 exclusive. It will not be coming to PlayStation 4. That's kind of cool.
I kind of figured as much. We've talked about it. We talked about it on the show. That we didn't even think that it could run on a PS4, just because the whole idea of this game is that everything loads really quickly, and that's strictly because of the SSD, and it really shows off the power of the SSD.
Yep, I just put that in because I thought it was kind of interesting, and some people may not know. It's like, maybe it's going to PS4, but all the comments are like, obviously it's PS5.
It's also not coming out till March, so.
Yes, it is confirmed though. Confirmed by Insomniac themselves on Twitter. We got Sega. This is big news. Sega asks 650 employees to voluntarily retire.
Holy shit!
Cuts executive salaries. This comes from Nintendo Life, or comes from Ryan Craddock at Nintendo Life. There's a quote from Sega: "In order to recover earnings at an early stage and achieve sustainable growth in the future, we consider that it is necessary to promote cost reduction centered on fixed expenses and build an even more efficient system, and decided to call for voluntary retirement of employees." This call for voluntary retirement has been issued to a total of 650 full-time and contracted employees, asking for a retirement date the 28th of February 2021. Those who choose to take the option will receive a payment of extraordinary retirement allowances, don't know what that means, and re-employment support. It is not just the employees who have been affected. The document goes on to say that the company's representative director's monthly salary will be cut by 30%, with the senior executive, vice president, and senior vice president also getting a 20% and 10% monthly cuts, respectively. These charges will be in effect from November 2020 to March 2021. Dude, Sega's losing it.
I will say
2021.
I want to say this, if I can just jump in here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, obviously Sega's struggling.
Yeah,
they're struggling for money. I don't know what that's all about.
I can tell you.
Sure.
It's because Sega has a lot of money in actual arcades in Japan, mostly.
Oh.
And because of all coronavirus, nobody's going to arcades anymore.
I didn't
know this. a lot of their money, all their like pachinko machines. I don't know if they make pachinko machines, but arcade machines, they're just not getting any of that revenue in, and their machines are just standing there. That's kind of where most of their money is coming from.
If they would just release Shin Megami Tensei 6 already, come on now.
Or, Sonic Adventure 3, come on now.
No, but I will say this, okay? They're struggling, okay? Obviously. Okay. I appreciate this gesture, though, where they're like, hey, we don't want to fire you, so here's what we'll do instead. Like, we'll let you know several months in advance. You can keep working with us until February, but, like, in that time, we will help you find a new job and we will give you a severance package. And it's sort of voluntary, but if you don't take up on this retirement, there's a good chance you will be fired. And then, cutting the top guys, that's great too. That means that they're not just prioritizing their top guys.
Exactly. Yeah.
They're actually cutting their budget so they can probably support the people, going into early retirement. I don't know.
Yeah.
This is it's horrible to see. Like it is horrible to see, a company on the down, and I'd like to hope that they can bounce back. We'll see, but this is a much better situation than, like, let's say, Telltale, where people find out the day of they lost their job and there's no severance.
Yeah,
this is so much better, where they've got 4 months to find a job, and they're getting a retirement allowance, which I imagine is just a lump sum of money. And it's voluntary. But like,
help
from
the company,
right? So
yeah,
it's basically like Sega can see the writing on the wall, and they want to jump on it before it gets too bad, so they can potentially save their company and potentially help a lot of the employees that they inevitably have to let go move on in a comfortable way. So I mean, this is the way to do it.
Good on you, Sega. Way to be the good guy, honestly.
Sort of. I mean, it still sucks.
It sucks.
What else can they do?
Yeah, what are you going to do? Like, we have no money. Either we lay you off now and give you a whole bunch of money, or we can lay you off later when we have no money,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I think this is the best that they can do with the hand that they're dealt, and I hope they can bounce back, because Sega's been one of the big ones for a while,
Yeah.
So I don't know. Hopefully they release the Sega Genesis too.
Dreamcast too.
There you go. Yeah, it sucks. Hearts out to those guys who are dealing with the hard choices and whatnot. Would not want to be in their shoes.
Hope
at this
retirement's
moment.
nice.
Yeah, well, or I hope you can find a job. I know how it is.
Yeah.
I know the struggle. Another piece of news: PlayStation 5 will not support 2K resolution screens. So if you have a screen that is 1440p, it will down-res it to 1080p, and then your screen will up-res it to 1440. That sucks. That just straight up sucks. I personally...
It doesn't surprise me. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
It doesn't surprise me, but I personally had to change up like my wish lists on stuff that I'm buying, because I'm moving to monitors. I'm not using a TV anymore, so I'm like, I'll get two 1440s. That way I can set them up side by side. And then I heard this news, and I'm like, well, let's delete that from my list, and I'm going to get two 4Ks now and just future-proof myself. They're a little bit bigger. They're cheaper, actually.
I think 1440. I think 1440 often looks better. I like that, like, resolution better.
I think it depends on the size of your screen.
Yeah, I think it suits itself better to be a monitor. But that's the thing is, and the reason it doesn't surprise me is because, I mean, 2K screens, 1440p. I mean, these things are typically monitors.
Yeah.
You don't see a lot of TVs at 1440. You see them at 1080 or 4K. Like, that's it.
Yep.
And consoles are designed for TVs. That's just it. So, I mean, it makes sense. You're definitely in the minority where you're going to be plugging that shit into a monitor. Even myself, I will have a dual monitor setup with a TV next to it because I'm just fucking weird. Yeah.
I mean, yeah. That's the way consoles have been marketed forever. Is you sit on the couch and play them on the couch. Whereas for me, I've slowly gotten smaller. Like, I used to want like a huge TV in the living room and chillax and play video games, but now it's like I kind of want to be up close and have everything here. I want to have my,
You're turning into a PC gamer.
Yeah. But like,
that's what it is.
But I love my PlayStations, my guy. I love my PlayStations. I love my consoles. I love my controllers. That's the biggest thing. I love my controllers.
Easier than ever to use on PC.
I know.
I will say we talked
in.
about it. We talked about this bad boy last week, by the way, and
I don't have mine.
There's no PC drivers for this thing yet. You can still use it with Steam. You just have to set up the buttons and do the buttons yourself. But there is no PC drivers for the Sony PlayStation DualSense yet.
Interesting.
I imagine, and this is just me guessing, I imagine when the console drops, they will put PC drivers onto PC eventually.
Yeah.
But for now, there is no PC drivers for this, which is very unfortunate because I'd much rather just use my Xbox controller, which is fucking hooks right up. No problem. So, Sony, get your shit together.
Get your shit together. Stop making proprietary shit like Apple.
Make PC great again.
All right. Last piece of news. We have Microsoft reportedly looking into acquire Japanese game studios. This comes from Darren Bonthus. I don't know. I butchered that name. Where is this from, Jake? GameSpot. Okay, you got it. It has approached several. I'm guessing Microsoft has approached several Japanese-based games developers about the possibility of purchasing their business. And Koei Tecmo Games Company president Hisashi Koinuma revealed that Microsoft had approached the publisher to form a partnership, something that the company would be open to if Microsoft continued to show interest in Japan. That's big news.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
That's big news. I didn't hear about this. I'm glad you put it on there. Yeah, so it looks like Microsoft is trying to get more into the Japan side of gaming. Like, we might get like a JRPG from Microsoft. That'd be fucking cool. Or like, if acquiring Koei Tecmo would be huge. It'd be huge for them. And it sounds like the president is like on board with it. If he's like, yeah, if you just, are up for doing more shit in Japan, we're totally down to join your team.
Well, and Xbox has been trying to hit the Japanese market forever, but the Japanese market is like, no, we got Nintendo, we got PlayStation. What do you mean? We don't need Xbox. And they've been trying to hit it for years. Also, in this article, I didn't put it in here, but like, it says that like sometimes Xbox in Japan will sell tens of consoles a month. Just tens, like they barely sell any Xboxes there, where like their total number of sales will be like 6,000 Xboxes. So like I can understand, like if they bought this would be huge. If you don't know who Koei Tecmo is, they're famous for making Nobunaga's Ambition.
Oh yeah, I know that one.
Yeah, and
oh my god.
Atelier Lulua.
I think they're a publishing company.
Oh no, but they make like Dead or Alive. They make
yeah.
They make like Dynasty Warriors. I was fucking around. Yeah.
Okay, I'm like, I'm gonna fucking look this up. Yeah, they make
do...
the Alterier.
Yeah, that's what I was. They make the Attack on Titan games. Yeah, just very Japanese game. They made Neo. Yeah, just very very Japanese. Yeah. So I mean that would be a big get for them. And Xbox would not buy that because they think it's going to boost the North American sales, because it won't. Because these are not games that sell huge in America.
They also did the Ninja Gaiden, so that's kind of cool.
It's a pretty good game.
It's a hard game. It's a good game.
Yeah. So yeah, I thought that was a pretty big piece of news.
That is a big piece of news.
I mean, if they're looking at Koei Tecmo, I mean, what else are they looking at?
Yeah, dude, probably.
I want to bring this up, if you don't mind. I want to bring this up. I want
Go
to know
for it.
where you stand on this. Sony has been coming out lately and saying, we see Xbox. Essentially, they've been saying like we see Xbox buying all these studios, and they've kind of been saying like it's more. I forget where the quote came from, and I'm paraphrasing the quote that I don't remember where it came from, but it was some high up. It might have been Jim Ryan over at PlayStation. I can't remember though. But basically, what they were saying is like, what we'd rather do than go out and buy a bunch of companies is start building companies from the ground up inside of our, inside
Family.
of like our ecosystem, and do it that
Interesting.
way.
I think that's a better way of doing it.
Yeah.
To a certain extent, because as for Microsoft, when you buy a bunch of companies, you get all of the supporters of that company. It's like, oh, Koei Tecmo is now part of Microsoft. I love Koei Tecmo. I love the Dead or Alive series. I love the Dynasty Wars series. I'm gonna just jump over there because they're supporting it a lot harder.
Besides Bethesda, though, like Sony did acquire probably the biggest person they could have acquired, which is Insomniac. I mean, that's a pretty huge get for Sony. Like, besides Bethesda, like that's like the biggest third-party gaming company besides like EA and Activision.
And it made them a whole bunch of fucking money.
Well,
in the first game.
Spider-Man?
Oh no. Yeah, I guess they did. They weren't technically acquired at that point.
No, they weren't. It was after that. So they really haven't seen that money yet, but they will starting Thursday, and then even more in March when Ratchet and Clank comes out.
Yeah.
So just wanted to bring that up. So I think that's an interesting approach. It's funny that Sony says that when it hasn't been the case for them at all ever. Naughty Dog is not a company that they built from the ground up. They bought them. Sucker Punch is not a studio that they built from the ground up. They bought them. So I don't know what the fuck they're talking about. Media Molecule is not a company. They bought them. So maybe what they're saying is we'd rather buy smaller studios and build them up rather than buying already well-renowned studios. Because that's kind of true. Well, even Naughty Dog had already made Crash. I don't know what Sony's on about. Crazy. They're crazy bitches.
They're crazy. You don't know what they're going to pull. They can pull a knife on you.
They're out of control. One more piece of news real quick. Joe Biden won the election.
Oh, my God. Hallelujah to everybody on the internet.
This is great. This is actually horrible for video games because we're going to come out of lockdown soon.
However, another stimulus maybe. Who knows?
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
So, we're that's the end of it. What to look forward to next week? Next week, we're going to be talking about, the Xbox Series X and S, or as I like to call it, the Xbox Series Extra Small, or as Jake likes to call it, the Xbox Series, the XS and the XS. Yeah, those are two different things.
XX sex.
The XX, the XX and the XS.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got
I know.
You get it.
Yeah. Stupid.
Comes out today.
Yeah, comes out today. November 12th, on Thursday, we got PlayStation 5. We're going to be talking about Spider-Man. We're going to be talking about Astro's Playroom. We might even be talking about Bug Snacks, because all of those we are going to be playing.
All-Stars.
No. Destruction All-Stars in March.
Is it March?
Yeah, they made it a PlayStation Plus game. We went over this.
Fuck. I must have forgot it was March. I thought it was coming out this month. It's Bug Snacks.
No, Bug Snacks is this month.
Bug Snacks and what else? Just Bug Snacks?
Just Bug Snacks and then 2 other games for the whatever we have now. Yeah.
Oh, that makes sense.
And then November 14th on Saturday, Jake has a planned streaming thing for all the Lonercast and a couple of friends, other streamers. Everybody's going to be playing Among Us on Saturday. I unfortunately will not be there. I have a wedding to attend, but it depends on what time the whole thing is. I may join in. Yeah, tell us more. What are you thinking? Anything else?
Yeah, it's gonna be like me, and if you listen to the Jake and Corey show, it's gonna be like me and Corey, and then my sister Cassie. We're dropping a new show this week. She'll be playing with us, and then maybe a couple of the guys from Fat Guy Radio Show, and then a couple of my streamer friends might join us. Also, throughout next week, if, and this is a big if, I can pick up a PS5, I will try and stream it a little bit. But I mean, we'll see what happens.
That's all up in the air. And if I get a PlayStation 5, there's going to be a couple videos coming out just because, that's just kind of what I want to do. Right. And then I'm going to add a new segment here, if you'll allow it. I'm gonna do this new segment is recent reviews, and I feel like I should add this because it just kind of gives you an idea of how games kind of look and how all the reviews are looking for the games that came out this week. I also put last week's in there because this is the first one. So the recent reviews, I go to OpenCritic, which is it's a website where they take all of the big named reviewers like IGN, Destructoid, GameSpot, Game Informer, and they all slam the reviews together and come up with an overall average score. And I will read the average scores to you. For Assassin's Creed Valhalla, that's coming out today, that got an 84 average, which is a lot higher than I was expecting. It's a lot higher.
I've been hearing a lot of people say it's pretty good. So
the only thing on OpenCritic that says is like it's a little buggy, but it's a fucking open world Ubisoft game. What do you expect? Yakuza Like a Dragon, 87. That's kind of cool.
That game looks fucking awesome, by the way.
It does. It looks super good, and I only hear good things about it. And I might pick it up later.
Yeah.
Probably won't though. I don't know. It depends. Depends on how everything goes. Bugsnax is a 76. I hear this game. I hear its gameplay is kind of but the characters and like the place is where it's at. Like that.
Well, like the game they made before Bugsnax was fucking Octodad. So I mean, like the most janky, buggy. Like, of course, that's exactly where I suspected this game would be.
Yeah, but it's a PlayStation Plus game. I'll fucking play it. It's supposed to be like 7 hours.
Of course.
Need for Speed Hot Pursuit Remastered. I didn't know that was a thing until I looked this up. That got a 72, so I probably won't be picking that up ever. Dirt 5 got an 82, so that's kind of cool. Yeah, you get a question this week, my guy?
I do.
Thought of a question?
I have a question. I didn't write it in the document because I just came up with it, and I think it's a pretty good one.
Perfect timing. I'll write while you ask.
Okay. My question essentially is, we're coming to the end of a generation this week. It's the end of a generation, even for PCs. It's an end of a generation, with the new graphics cards and stuff. So my question to you is, what are your like favorite memories about last gen? Like, what stands out to you the most about last gen, and what excites you the most about next gen? I think that's a pretty good ass question.
That's a great question.
Thank you.
And you know what? I kind of want to get into this too. I want to add something in there along with favorite memories and excitements. What was your favorite game? We'll leave it. We'll leave it like, what is your favorite game of this entire generation?
And why is it Breath of the Wild?
No, it's not. It is not. It is not. It is not. All right.
I did not.
So we gotta plug some shit. The Lonercast shows. We got the Jake and Corey podcast. We're gonna have this new thing that Jake's rom-coms. If you're into romantic comedies like you are, Jake and his sister get together and
I know. Yeah.
Roll out about a rom-com. You might be excited for this show. We got Twitter. Follow us on Twitter. Jake is at emergency pizza _ and I am at fatal _ microwave. And Jake's always streaming on Twitch. So
All the time.
twitch.tv/Lonercast.
I'm neglecting my own life to stream on Twitch. I have very important things to do, but instead I stream for you, which is nobody.
It's nobody.
Get it together. Come over to Twitch, get in the Twitch chat, and give me your fucking money.
Oh, ear rape. Ear rape. I did not sign up for this. Neither did anybody else. Good night and good riddance. That's it.